in Super Week, and the mount fight didn't really work for Wicked last game. But they've already banned Zac, so essentially with that pick and ban, of all the people to attack on EG in the past, as far as champion select attacking, it's usually been Wicked, because he loves to channel on a very small subset of champions and just master them. And that's a really smart move by Alternate to take him out.
What are EG going to go for here? Well, having that second pick obviously gives you those two choices, and with a lot still left on the table, I'm interested to see where they decide to go with this one. Mid lane, I'm guessing, is going to come last for them this time around.
Yeah, I feel like they can definitely wait to counterpick Pharrell Lord instead of just going all in on Ahri very soon in the game. It's nice that they picked the Sona away as well. Crepo, even though he's had good games on Thresh, he's actually 5-1 on Sona so far this year, so he's definitely had the most success on Sona overall. And I also think one other thing, the Lee Sin ban didn't come through this time, which means that Alternate doesn't necessarily have to pick their jungler until later, because there's no way Snoopy's going to be playing Lee Sin.
And this is what we said. Do they ban Aatrox after that one? And leave Lee Sin out there? They did in fact leave Lee Sin out, but they left Aatrox open as well. So actual second round of picks for Alternate, going to be the Zyra and that Twitch.
I think the thing they did by leaving the Aatrox and Lee Sin out is, since they knew they didn't really have enough bans for everything they wanted, since they wanted to obviously use 2 on Creaton, is like, well, maybe he just likes Lee Sin so much that he won't pick away Aatrox, but that wasn't the case. Alternate beat him there.
Beat him to that one. What are EG going to go for? We saw Froggen hovering over that Malphite once again. Will that lead for a second game in a row headed over towards Wicked in his top lane? As you said, not really the most impressive, but Malphite for me can be hit and miss like that as well. He could pick it up this game and just have a terror match with it.
I feel like he kind of has to do that as he has Kennen locked in, because he has not played much. Like, his top 4 this season, Zac, Malphite, Shen, and Aatrox, are all either picked or banned away. So if that Kennen is in fact in the top lane, which it probably is, since EG uses their last pick generally to counterpick for the matchup between Frog and Pharrell Lord, I gotta see how Wicked's Kennen is lately.
The last time we saw it, it wasn't the most impressive. We'll have to see, though, how it comes into this one. They've had that time to practice. Wicked has always said that I need probably more depth to my champion pool, so we'll see how he brings his Kennen out. Are Alternate going to go for that Diana again? Sadly enough, for the guys here in the audience and you at home, it probably won't be a Teemo.
Yeah, there's not going to be a Teemo for J-Re, or I guess that would be, they have their top lane and their mid lane to pick right now. And they're definitely taking their time on this one. The Diana worked out so well for them last game, but at the same time, that was picked into an Ahri. He knew exactly what he was playing against. And as this matchup tends to go between Pharrell Lord and Froggen, since they have both such immensely deep champion pools, you never know what they're going to pull out.
Well, it could be a Singed, which would make me a certainly happy person, and it is going to be that Singed locked in. Now, let's think back. Last time that Kerp actually played Singed was against Evil Geniuses in the Super Week, which was the only game that they've lost up until now in the entire season.
Interesting choice to fall back onto then. He's clearly saying that it's strange, because again, he picked a split pushy type champion last game as well, and then he's going with Shen again here. Oh man, would he do that with online? Interestingly enough, Crepo is the one with the 100% win rate on Anivia this season.
Yeah, I'm not sure that at this stage of the tournament and of the year for them, really, with everything that's to come, that they've actually let Crepo bring out his Anivia into this one. And it's going to be an Orianna pick there in the end, so that's going to mean that we will see Wicked on that Kennen in the top lane with Froggen playing Orianna.
I wonder how much lane swapping we're going to see in this one right now, because Wicked directly against Kerp actually is a pretty good matchup. Like, Kerp has disastrous laning matchups early on in the game. Once if he can get going a little bit, he's going to be a split push monster, because EG won't actually have someone to put directly against him. It'll be a very interesting early game once again for Alternate, as they kind of picked a bit of a pile-on composition again, but not nearly as much, since there's no Hemoplague coming out from Singed in those team fights.
Just the poison, which, depending on how far he gets, can be a very big annoyance as well at the same time. So we'll see about that. But Aranea, for a second game in a row, going to be running with this Aatrox. So he's obviously put a lot of time to this in the, limited time frame, to be honest, since Sunday morning, technically at 2 a.m. and here on Friday, when obviously we had those playoff games.
It almost seems like he's just switched gears now with the Aatrox jungle. It seemed like he was going for Vi when he didn't have his Lee Sin throughout most of the season.
Yeah.
Aatrox seems like a better fit for him, because I almost want to say Vi has better outs, Aranea is a bit of a crazy jungler, and he gets himself in a lot of difficult situations. And I'd say Aatrox is slightly more maneuverable than Vi is in those specific spots.
So as you can see here, for those of you that are at home, Gamescom is packed here today, sold out I believe for the entire week right now, and great to see all you League of Legends fans back in here, even those that are miles away in the far corner that have got a bit of a distance to watch. Yeah, we've got the monitors here on the outside of the stage as well, so plenty of views for everyone here, and it is a packed house as we get into game number 2 of EG versus Alternate. Alternate 1-0 up in this best of 3, and a win here would put them through to that semi-final round.
And also it would mean that they would have to lose 2 best of 3s in a row to not go to Worlds, whereas the loser of this set then has to play a decider match where they'd risk falling into the summer promotion, or for the next promotion tournament. These are just ridiculous stakes right now for these teams.
Yeah, and think about EG. I mean, that would be 3rd place in the summer split and maybe end up going down in towards that relegation promotion area. For Alternate, who spent 6 weeks at the top of the table, they could be in that scenario as well. So there's just so much pressure on both of these teams. And I think therefore level 1 might be a quiet affair.
And it may be even the start of the game. We know these guys are also so confident, and it's for good reason too, because as you mentioned, Alternate was 1st place for so long during the split, whereas EG was a dominant force for so much of Season 2 and probably always believes kind of at the back of their minds that they can get back to that point. It makes sense that both of these teams are confident, but someone eventually does have to lose these ones now that there's so much strength in Europe.
Right, now Alternate have got a 4-man defense down by that red buff. See, they were the ones that tried a bit of an invade in the last game, and Aranea had to flash to safety at level 1, and from that point just farmed a lot afterwards actually. Despite the start that he went item-wise, again starting off with the Doran's Blade in this one.
Well, surprisingly, since I think we have a bit of time to talk in the early game of this one, the Doran's Blade start for junglers doesn't necessarily mean they need to get early ganks off. You're also saving a little bit of money if all you're going to be doing is farming, because he actually isn't investing in any health potions here, since he has so much natural sustain from Aatrox's W. If he's playing the farm game, it actually means he can hit his items slightly faster.
So Snoopy starting off on the top side here with his Jarvan, and both junglers going to have the red buff right from the very get-go. We are looking like we're going to see 2v2 lanes there, as the Piltover actually being dodged by both players from Alternate, and that's not exactly what the LOP was looking for that early harass. Now in this middle lane, Froggen going to have Orianna. Could cause a couple of problems here for Elnord with that stacking up of the auto attacks early.
Yeah, Froggen needs to do as much as possible to stop Elnord from farming early. Interestingly enough, Elnord started with his Q first on Diana, whereas a lot of Dianas start with a W first just to kind of fight back a little bit to all the early auto attack harass it's going to take. I think that just immediately gives Froggen the ability to push up in the lane, which might be part of Elnord's plan.
So, this top lane, Singed versus Kennen is what we've got going up there. Obviously, as I said, the last time around that we saw the Singed coming out of Kirk was in their defeat in Week 9 Super Week against Evil Geniuses. So we'll see how that one all works out for him today. Again, gone deep into that utility tree, starting off with that Crystalline Flask, and he's going to take a lot of harassment as well, with a Kennen starting off Doran's Blade.
Yeah, that Doran's Blade start from Wicked is a very standard thing for Kennen. This is almost a reverse of what we saw last game, even though it's not 2v1 lanes, because Kerp started off a game with a Doran's Shield on Vladimir, whereas Wicked is the one started with the Crystalline Flask and the utility tree spec.
So, where's the first action going to come down? This one very hard to predict, I think, when it comes to first blood and first fight kind of territory, because of the nail-biting situation that both of these teams find themselves in right now, in terms of, you know, possible way to the World Championships and possible way to having no LCS job next year.
Such a huge amount of pressure on these teams at this exact moment. And I'm actually a little bit surprised that Snoopy is playing so early game aggressively on Jarvan right now. He's just kind of sitting and hoping to catch someone transit over in that jungle.
So, see the bottom lane there of Alternate actually backing away. He's trying to get an extra bit of farm as they pick up those golems as well, and Aranea still waiting here on this top lane.
He's been there
going to be
forever.
able to get in for this one. Wicked actually going to rush away from that one, and well, he'll be fine actually. And as you said, a lot of time spent there for Aranea up top.
Yeah, and you can tell Arnea was trying to babysit Kerp a little bit, even though normally in games, Arnea babysits for Rellenlord and tries to get him going. It's because of the Singed versus Kennen matchup being so difficult, and here's all the patience on the other side.
Here we go, Exhaust going down, Yellow Pete, he's going to be doing good damage there. Is Snoopy going to slide all the way through here? Creighton going super low, there is the kill for Krepo, he's going low, a double kill for Krepo. Kerp actually goes for the fling on him, but Krepo flashes away. What a start for EG. Would have been nice to have those two for Yellow Pete, but it's 2 kills nonetheless.
I think all of the wins there were because of what Snoopy had accomplished. Arnea, while he went up to try to help out Kerp, who was losing a lane, Snoopy went back and tried to turn a lane that was winning, which is why they got that 2-for-0 trade. And wow, Wicked's gonna get something here.
Well, he's at least going to get rid of that passive of that Bloodwell. Is he going to be able to get the stun as he comes up there? Needs one more here with the Ignite going down, and Wicked flashes in, picks up the kill. He's going to go low, but there's no one anywhere near him to stop that. And Evil Geniuses, 3-0. A 2,000 gold lead at 5 minutes 40. That's more than we saw at 20 minutes of a lead in the last game.
The only thing EG could want more of this, as Rellenlord almost got taken out by Froggen as well, is that the double kill would go to Yellow Pete instead of Krepo, because he's got to turn that now into some immediate strength, whereas Yellow Pete could have maybe just built up a straight BF sword. Still a fantastic start for EG.
Not sure what EG talked about at the halftime, but it certainly helped a massive amount in the very early stages of this one. Have a look at some of the items, because there's certainly been some picked up after that crazy start. See the tier 4 curve in the top lane, but the AD carries both been able to pick up a Vamp Scepter after that action.
I don't think the laning phase is going to be getting immediately easier for Alternate. Rellenlord hasn't been able to get any magic resistance against Froggen, whereas Froggen has been able to get a chalice because he's been outlaning Rellenlord hard with that Orianna early on. And Wicked is just happily in lane still, since Kerp hasn't built any defensive itemization against Wicked, who was winning the lane from the start.
And there's the knock-up, he's got no ghost available. Ulti running now for Wicked. Kerp gonna struggle to get away from this one. He's slow, is the best chance, but he gets stunned up. Wicked makes it 2-0. Rellenlord's actually headed up towards his top lane now. Wicked is at less than half.
And Rellenlord really likes to pick up these roaming kills, but he's a little bit outnumbered here, and he's got to be careful.
Got to be really careful from this one. Doesn't have a flash available, has an ignite if he decides to go in for those fights, and now with Arnea jumping in, this is surely a kill for them. Wicked doing a good job to dodge away, but the ignite was used by Rellenlord to pick up Alternate's first kill of the game.
As soon as he landed his Q there on Diana, it guaranteed he could stick to Wicked throughout his lightning rush. Despite the nice dodge Wicked had onto Aatrox's jump, it just wasn't enough.
So the dream start coming in here for Evil Geniuses. Let's see what develops from them on that front. We should probably talk about the support items as well here, because Krepo obviously was the one that got those first 2 kills. That's allowed him to get that GP10 rolling with the Philosopher's Stone early on.
And I wonder if Krepo is actually going to be the one to build some ore items. We don't see it on supports often because they overward generally once they start getting kills, as Froggen is able to take away that Wraith. And I actually hope Krepo goes that way, but for now, they're just using the advantage they have to nearly take that turret 2v2 at 8 minutes. They have been dominating this matchup.
So strong in these early stages, and with the backing off of Creighton's Twitch there, that surely opens up this turret as Wicked going to come back into lane. Got a blasting one, double Doran's Blade, and the boots as well, which means that even if Kerp tries, he probably can't create anything onto him with that lightning rush as well.
Not yet. I mean, Kerp on Singe does have his Singed ultimate, which is just crazy as far as once he hits level 6, and he's using it just to try and get some proxy farming or in-between turret farming going with Wicked. But EG's just going to say, waste your time, Kerp, we're going to go and take a dragon.
Yep, straight in there from that one. Aatrox is waiting behind off the dragon pit here though, and Arnea is going to try and come in for the steal on this one. Going very low, but it is going to be picked up. There's a shockwave coming out as well. But no damage really at this point, and Rellenlord's going to try and turn this one around for now. Froggen going to go down to half HP. Can they escape it? The slow's coming down. There's Crescendo, but Rellenlord's right into the back line. It's Creighton that will pick off Krepo. I don't think they've got enough to keep chasing, but the timing's there for the Blues.
So they get a blue buff and a kill in exchange for Dragon. I'd still say overall, this is in benefit of EG, but they also have to answer what Kerp's doing here, because Kerp is playing Singe smartly right now. Wicked doesn't want to give up farm, and Kerp has already died once. That's a very good timing of Kerp to know when he could go in between turrets, because there would be no one able from EG to go and stop him since the Dragon was happening.
And between the inner and the inhibitor turret at that as well, not just between the outer and the inner. So doing really good work with that one. He's still, of course, pretty far behind when it comes to everything else, because those 2 kills that Wicked has now got to his name, and the 20 CS lead currently. So with those blue buffs now coming in, of course, 1 stolen away from alternate, which means that they're going to have 2 running in the team.
That could be a huge benefit for them. Relin Lord rushing damage instead of defense against Froggen right now, going Sorcerer's Shoes very early on in the game. I wonder if he's going to be able to just stand up to Froggen at all in lane with those items, or if he's just built the Sorcerer's Shoes because he plans on a lot of them.
And one thing that they've done here, alternate, is actually leave that blue buff up. So they're going to wait for the blue that Lord stole away to actually time out, and then go and take their own blue as well, which is going to chain blue buffs here for Lord. That's a lot of time with a blue buff on. That's a really smart move for them, but they're giving him a little bit extra time. It's not a full chain, because you can see he'd already burned, the thing is, he'd already burned through half of it. So he may as well refresh it, because they're going to want to be able to go in for the steal late. Now back up in this top lane, Kurt once again getting the Insanity Potion running. Wicked says, not today, I'm going to go for you this time around. There's the ultimate coming in. We do see the slow coming down from Kurt, but the flame will knock him back, but he's taken a turret. There is a stun coming in, but Wicked had already pretty much said, okay, that was enough for me, I'm just going to force you away. Probably could have picked up a kill there. He was incredibly close to doing so, but Kurt was running very fast, and I feel like once Wicked threw out that last Q and it missed, he wasn't going to be able to finish that one off. Plus Aatrox had been coming up from the river as well. So some more items picked up. Froggen working his way towards that Athene's Unholy Grail. A pickaxe now in there as well for the Yellow Pete. Moves across the board as well at this stage of the game for Evil Geniuses. Yeah, I'm just looking here, and Yellow Pete's going for a pickaxe first. He's not doing that Bloodthirster rush anymore. Instead, I think he's going for substantially more auto attack damage, knowing he needs to be able to fight Twitch when Twitch comes at him, because that's what all these Twitches have been doing in this tournament, is they're going Blade of the Rune King very early, and they're trying to turn themselves into enemy AD carry assassins. Now once again, this Kerp trying to catch up. Arane is coming towards this top lane as well. See if they can make a play onto Wicked here. So far, we talked about his Kennen and what the level of his Kennen was going to be coming into this one, and can't really knock it at this stage, to be honest, as he goes back to the turret spot in Arane, and he's safe. His Kennen has been very strong, but there's only so much he could do against a Singed who's trying to run in between his turrets all the time. Realm Lord gets caught though. Yeah, Shockwave coming in onto him, and actually with Jarvan there as well, they've got a decent chance of locking him down there with the flash. Cataclysm coming in for Realm Lord, a dead man. Snoopy picking that one up. And that is just because they wanted that ward on the top side of the map. Yeah, this has been a lot of early kills for EG, and their early game is definitely working out for them. But that 0-1 Singed right now, Kerp, is going to become a problem. Because it doesn't seem like right now EG has a way of stopping him. If Wicked can't do it, Froggen definitely isn't able to roam in and stop him. And now they have Snoopy chasing around the jungle a little bit, trying to slow him down. He's distracting a lot of attention despite not being that far ahead, so wait until he gets a few more minion kills. Right up on the steps into the Evil Geniuses base right now, trying to stop all of those minion waves coming through. And now they are going to try and react to him with this one, but Insanity Potion running, he's right at the back, and what are you going to do? Are you going to leave your lane and end up losing out on farm? Is Snoopy going to lose time in the jungle with it? What are you going to do? This is exactly what Singed, the problems he creates. You kind of want your jungler to get a couple kills on him, feed off Singed a little while, and then you go and push down mid while he's doing his shenanigans in top lane, because it gives you a few windows. But that's not necessarily what EG's doing right now, because they're just not at a point where they feel comfortable doing that play. And we saw Froggen actually went towards his position. He waits in a bush, just flings him behind him, and then just walks on off anyway with that Insanity Potion running. And right now he's back into his lane to stop Wicked putting down all that damage onto his tower. Yeah, so another thing you can do is get him before he gets there, because once he's there, you're kind of screwed. But as long as Wicked can keep him contained to the turret, and if EG can set up some jungle exit wards for alternate, so if they just ward the exits of his jungle to stop him from getting past them, that's what they really want to accomplish. Now we see Snoopy adding in a little bit of extra damage on towards that tower. Now down below half HP, so Kerp has to make that decision as to whether he's going to go for what he was aiming for earlier on with that proxy farming, or whether he's going to try and hold on to his turret. At this stage, Wicked has now left the lane, which again gives Kurt a chance to get into position.
And you can see Snoopy is almost just trapped in that top lane because of what Kerp is doing, which then opens up potential opportunity for alternate here at Dragon. Everyone on everyone on EG is roaming down to stop this Dragon, which means they can probably contest this if they rush.
Well, it's already been started here. Alternate trying to get it finished, but the damage already being thrown in
Alternate's got to get out of there.
Yeah, I don't think they can do this one. They need to be so very careful as Wicked joins in the party as well. They're going to go in right on top of Dragon. There's a shockwave coming in, and Alternate do get Dragon, but what's it going to cost them here? Creaton's gone down. Jerry managed to escape, but Aranea won't be able to do the same, and now for Ellenlord, going fairly low here on the top side. He tries to fight with Snoopy. There's the ace in the hole coming through. That's a kill, and the shield, the command protect on Snoopy, not quite enough with the ignite burning. But EG coming in, yes, they've lost the Dragon, but they've picked up 3 kills for it.
And now they have to get more because that 2-kill advantage at Dragon is just about the right. They're going to push that turret, but let's see how this fight went. If Aranea didn't get this Dragon steal, the lockdown from EG would have been far too much. Wicked was the ball delivery system there for Orianna, and they managed to just clean inside the Dragon pit.
Well, if you think about what EG have got on their side and what that Dragon pit offers you, Kennen, Orianna, Sona, that is the most perfect place on the map that EG could ever be fighting.
Yeah, that Dragon pit is just danger central for Alternate, and that's the trade-off they made when they decided that they had Kerp pushing top lane, and it did give EG that opportunity to go and fight.
So now Kerp here having to go on towards yellow. Pete wasn't quite counting on Froggen coming up here. Crepo's coming in there as well, and Kerp is making a beeline for the escape. Froggen going to speed himself up there. Not quite got the damage, but with Snoopy coming in, going to get the knock up. Snoopy picking up another kill here to go up to 2-1-4. He's already got a giant spell in there. He's pretty far on his way to being unstoppable at this point.
He's going to become a monstrous tank. Despite not farming that much, he's definitely done the gank path in this game, whereas Aranea has been much more towards farming like we saw last time. I'd almost say Aranea has done more farming this game than he did last, because he's almost keeping pace with Lord at this point, and he is keeping pace with Kerp.
So there was turret number 3 for Evil Geniuses. All the outer turrets now off the map. Alternate with their single takedown in that top lane. Aren't going to be able to at least take bottom from now, and this mid lane going to be covered off by Wicked as well. So leaves us with a 5,000 gold lead, 17 minutes into the game. Some more items being done here. Abyssal Scepter coming out for Wicked. Also that Athene's Unholy Grail now finished for Frog, and if you look over the other side, they're not quite up to that first big item path yet, and as I say, that Frontload does have the cash to finish off the Abyssal.
Well, it's still a big gold lead for EG, and that's what they're trying to push right now. I'm not really sure what to expect yet from Alternate coming into the late game, just based on how crazy Lord got last game and whether or not Kerp can create action. You can tell EG's really trying to make big plays happen before Kerp can become a real problem with those split pushing. They see him up top again. They have no Jarvanol, but they still might look to make some action happen at this turret.
Well, they're going to be going in there. Grasping Roots comes down, but doesn't really do much to them. Yellow Pete just knocking on the door of that turret here wherever he possibly can. And this is the EG that they developed into, but that we didn't really see in game 1. They reverted back to that old EG style, and this roaming a lot, taking objectives, looking for kills actively, is the newer EG that we started to see at the second half of the summer split.
Yeah, and it still keeps some of the strengths of their initial team. They work well together right now. It's so difficult to dive onto a Zyra, though, despite having so many ranged attackers at the turret.
Crescendo going down. There's a brilliant shockwave as well. Slicing Maelstrom going to do the work, and it's only Creaton that survived here at the back, but not for long. Ace in the hole goes through, and it is going to be a kill, a double in fact in the end of it for Caitlyn. Yes, Kerp is pushing in this top lane now, but what are they going to lose from that?
4 people and at least 1 turret, and they're sending 1 person back for this. You have to say Worth if you're Crapper right now, because he got hit pretty much in the turret, but his crescendo that he landed allowed the rest of EG to just pile on all of their spells. Inner turret for inner turret, I actually think benefits EG in this circumstance, because it means that next time this happens, they get the inhibitor, whereas Synth wouldn't be able to finish it off all by himself.
So and that leaves EG a mile ahead in kills as well, 13-4. Crepo tied with Yellow Pete and Wicked for the most kills on his team right now at 3, 2, and 6. But they've got to spread across the entire board, which we always talk about. You know, okay, it's not amazing for these supports to be having the kills. If they'd have gone to the AD carry, might have been better. But look at the item difference between the two supports and what that gives them right now. What gives that gives to EG as an entire team.
Exactly, and it's very nice for Crepo that he's been able to pick up that Chalice, which he'll probably turn into a Mikhail's Crucible later. Just because Sona, especially in these extended chasing team fights, is extremely mana heavy, and supports just don't have the luxury of building any mana regeneration. But the fact that he's been able to do that, as well as just have 400 gold stacked up on his Philo Stone already, does give EG a lot of freedom. As long as he doesn't keep getting kills, those first two won't backfire that much.
So, what are they going for? Now a play onto the red buff of Alternate. That's one less thing for Kriton to be making an impact with, and honestly he's not had an impact really here with this Twitch.
No, not yet. Even in that one turret dive where it seemed like EG all got caught within the Zyra Stranglethorns, he didn't have enough punch yet. I think if the game gets late enough, he becomes a fairly big danger since EG doesn't have the Malphite to shut down Twitch that they usually have. They have to kind of rely on Wicked, who's a squishier thing going in there. He's definitely not making an impact, as you said.
What is the next move here then for EG? Not a team we usually associate with going for early Barons and stuff like that. More like a team that we associate taking about 10 Barons very late on in the game. But this certainly looking very good for them at this point. And they are now moving in towards that blue buff. Aranir off to the side, but in the end gets smited away by Snoopy.
Snoopy outgamed him right there. He kind of thought he was going to be trying to steal it, and they knew they didn't need to give it to Froggen at the end since Froggen was already herring blue buff.
And speaking of Froggen, almost got that Rabadon's Death Cap now added in towards his Athene's Unholy Grail, and we just saw there the pain that he brings onto the squishier subjects in that alternate team. It was Jerry who knocked down to half HP just with that single combo coming out. But right now, Kerpa's moved towards this bottom lane, so trying to make a bit more ground on that front.
EG's absolutely in a spot where they can start taking control of this game. I'm actually very surprised that Kerpa's off-splitting a turret that's already up, because he can't actually cause any problems there, and he'd be forced into a team fight, which EG would most likely win if they find one at the Dragon Pit.
Well, Dragon has been started, kind of backed away from, but seems like EG going to commit to this one right now. We are going to see them kicking that one off. Can Alternate get in here for a cheeky steal? The Baron is the Dragon is incredibly low right now as Curb starts to come across. Snoopy going to go in. Brilliant shockwave combo coming down. Maelstrom actually kept away from them there though because of that Cataclysm, and Alternate are not done here. They start to move back up north, but I don't think that they can really fight with one. And Snoopy does go down. There's a Stranglethorn to zone them out, but Curb has paid the price.
EG waiting very patiently at the Dragon. You could tell Snoopy only wanted to fight there. Arne is still going to try a steal here, but there's no way Alternate can continue another fight.
He'll just end up losing his life, if anything, from this one. Still hanging
about.
He's going to make the jump over there, and he's not going to do it. He actually smited in there too early. Snoopy gets the better of him, and he's going to pay a full price for this one. EG just gathering on around him. This Yellow Pete that's now unstoppable at 5-0-5.
That is very good news for EG fans right now. They secure the Dragon, they extend their lead 15-4 right now, and because EG has created so many turret kills previously and their team fight is that much better than Alternate right now, it doesn't seem like Kerp will be able to create any type of Singe problems that he was very close to creating about 5 or 10 minutes ago.
EG just almost ignoring him and going for the other things, which means that Kerp is going to have to come down and really help things up because they can't really win a 5v5 right now, never mind survive long enough in a 4v5 before he can actually teleport into that one as well. So all looking good for game number 3 for EG.
And to add on to that, the Randuin Zoman that was completed by Snoopy make him a turret diving monster if Kerp ever looks too far away from the team. And EG is not hesitating this game either, so look for them to do that if we see the split push.
Now Kerp was down at the bottom. Wicked actually coming in to stop him from pushing too far into this one. And see that Wicked out damages him by a country mile at this stage of things. And Kerp just trying to trot on away from that one, and Wicked happy to say, okay, you just come down here, I'll take half your health, you're going to have to back up at some point, but now Wicked maybe going a little bit deep from this one, flash away, did use the ultimate, but I mean, he's kept his life, but with Lord and Curb there, they could probably have got the turret. But look at this, evil geniuses have decided to go for Baron.
Yeah, this is very interesting. Kerp is down on the ultimate, but he still has teleport. Now it's a question of how much ultimate can come up, or if EG just goes for a fight. They get it!
Aranea trying to walk away there. Jerry going to get caught up in the shockwave. He will flash off to safety, but now they chase down towards Creaton as Wicked comes in. Stun goes down. Double kill for Froggen, and not just like that. There will be two men out of the fight completely, and EG can turn around for a safer Baron.
Trying to force the smart Barons at this point. Wicked recognized there were two people down, knew his team was starting Baron, and then ran there as quickly as possible. So once EG started that fight, Wicked came at the end to clean it up.
So Diana now headed in. Can Lord stop this from happening? Gonna go in on towards Froggen, but honestly, I don't think he's got the damage at this stage of the game. Kerp actually gonna come in there. Teleport home guard, flip Snoopy away from things. Baron got 2,500 health right now as they turn around. Kerp gonna go very low, will get finished off. Meanwhile, Froggen over the other side did take down Lord, and also Jay Reed died in that one as well. He got a kill before he died, but Baron was kept alive there as well as they peeled off. They come back in, finish it, EG looking perfect.
And that was a smart Baron despite Yellow Pete dying there, because they made sure every single last Baron stealer was out of the game before they decided to go for that. No way they were letting a Baron steal risk this giant advantage they've already accumulated.
Touching on a 10,000 gold lead now for EG. And Froggen again he's having one of those games. We said at the start of this one that okay, he had a decent time with Ari in the last one, but he's going to have to set things up. This time around with Orianna, shockwaves have been brilliant. A couple to 2 to 4 people each time we've seen a shockwave from him. He's 509 right now. I mean, that goes for everyone on the EG team when you talked about the scoreboard.
And from the very start of this one, Froggen versus Lord, even from the picks and bans, these guys just battle each other. They're two of the best mid laners in Europe, and since Froggen, I feel like, got to see Lord's card, and since the Orianna was the last pick, he put himself in a position to succeed with that pick. And at the very start of the game, he was out farming him. In the team fights, he's outplaying him.
And he will be another blue buff going over towards EG from alternate side of the map. Smited away there by Snoopy. Froggen's already got a blue buff, so he can happily take that one off. As we see Twitch coming in from the side, they're trying to stop this turret going down, but EG just too far ahead for them.
Yeah, and Kerp was trying to create a little bit of action over in a side lane, but EG is just willing to go at any point. There is so much armor on Snoopy right now, especially when he has the Orianna ball on top of him, that Alternate is at risk in a dive. This is where Alternate was last game, where they went right away.
So, will EG do exactly the same for this one? When it comes down to the likes of that shockwave crescendo, the cataclysm coming out as Snoopy stands at the front here. Is he going to make the jump in? Aranea getting locked up by the trap, and you can see that EG have literally just marched in, and Alternate can't stop them taking the turret. They're going to lose an inhibitor as well.
You don't have to dive if the other team's just going to back away. EG takes that, now they can cycle around and take the rest.
And that is that 10,000 gold lead broken for EG. And now they're going to go in towards this top lane. Honestly, Snoopy is more than tanky enough right now to stand underneath the tower with the damage that they've got to finish that one off. Looks like they might play the safer route here though, and actually are setting up a bit of a trap there for Aranea as they realize he's probably not going to walk into it. Turret time. Yeah,
this is not the turret you try to defend in any sense. I've seen so many game-ending fights on that outer turret. Alternate should not go past essentially the line that Orianna ball creates if EG's decided to do this, but they're up there. I feel like they're going to give it up though.
Well, slow comes down from Kerp, Aranea and Creaton just in behind him there, but even just the poke that EG can throw out at this stage is enough to force Alternate away. Aranea just jumping out of that one. Is actually EG going a little bit further forward in this one, decide not to go too far. Too far, and actually start that fight off. And again, free turret. Alternate have to defend this one, surely.
And EG might just force this fight as soon as they get any type of shockwave going off, but they have so many ranged attackers, EG does. Plus the Sona heal, with that Michaela's Crucible for the extra mana regen, they are such a powerful siege. Alternate is forced.
Lord going into this one, gonna use his Zhonya's, but look at the ultis piling up on one another. That will be instantly one kill coming down. The second one should fall as well as a crescendo comes in there. Shockwave will pull the two together. Kerp now the last man in their way. Jerry can't really do anything about it at this point. EG can win the game right here.
And they just dominated this one from start to finish. Late game EG, try 29 minutes as they go into the next game.
This is a completely different Evil Geniuses. Whatever they talked about at the halftime point in this match has certainly helped them out. That loss in game number 1 not going to be repeated, and we're going into game number 3. We all wanted it.
Of the 2 games, the first one was a little bit swingy. It could have gone either way. This one was EG from start to finish. Every single lane had something positive happen to them right at the start. Rocket pushed for Elmer out of lane. Bottom lane got the gank kills. And then Wicked just killed Aranea by himself. EG really turned it on that game.
Fantastic play, and as I said, we all wanted to see 3 games. We want to see as many games as possible from these playoff matches, and well, no one wanted it more than Evil Geniuses, and you saw it there. A completely different outfit they were.